When you're hiring someone for a job, what's more important, how skilled they are or what kind of person they are? It's a classic dilemma between competence and character. Welcome to Summarize Science, where today we're looking at a paper that puts this very question to the test in a clever experiment. Let's dive in. Researchers set up a simulated job market with subjects acting as either workers or managers. Managers were given information about the workers and had to decide who they'd want to hire. First, each worker's character was measured with a dictator game, which is a simple way to see how generous they are with a pot of money. This gave them a prosocial or generosity score. Next, their skill was measured with a timed math test, giving them an ability score. So now, every worker had a clear rating for both their skill and their character. Here's where it gets really interesting. The managers had to evaluate these workers for a conflict job. In this job, workers could actually earn more money for themselves by shirking or slacking off, which would earn the manager nothing. This creates the ultimate hiring dilemma. Do you hire the highly skilled worker who has a greater incentive to be selfish, or the less skilled worker who has proven to be generous and might work harder for you? So, what did the managers choose? On average, the results were clear. Managers consistently valued skill far more than character. The analysis showed that an extra point of ability from the math score was almost always valued more than an extra point of generosity from the sharing game. In fact, a 1-point increase in skill was valued about 3 times more than a 1-point increase in generosity. For managers in STEM fields, that preference for skill was even stronger, jumping to over 8 times more valuable. But not everyone agreed. The data shows huge disagreements among managers when evaluating workers who were high in one area but low in the other, like the brilliant but selfish type. And this is perhaps the most fascinating finding: evidence of a likeness bias. Managers who were themselves highly generous placed a much higher value on generosity in the workers they evaluated. For these prosocial managers, good character could actually compensate for, or even be seen as more valuable than, higher skill. Interestingly, this bias didn't exist for ability. Everyone, regardless of their own math score, valued high-skilled workers. So let's recap the important points. First, when push comes to shove, hiring managers on average prioritize concrete skills over prosocial character. Second, we all have a subconscious bias to hire people who are like us, at least when it comes to character. Prosocial people value other prosocial people. This could mean that your own personality deeply and subconsciously shapes the kind of team you build. This likeness bias might create a great team culture, but it could also lead to a lack of diversity. And that's the principal's dilemma every manager faces. Thanks for watching Summarize Science.